Because you gotta race. Hyper Racing has technical help that will blow your mind, online or phone line. A world-class facility that manufactures perfection. Fuel injection conversions, chassis dyno, shock service, and a massive inventory for micro sprints, lightning sprints, midgets, and quarter midgets. We have what you need and will deliver your package full of adrenaline. Hyper Racing, because you gotta race.
If you're after the best seat in the house, you're gonna have to qualify. Keep turning left and hold that right foot down, because for that primo spot, VIP, the creme de la creme, you gotta race. For the next best seat, well, take your pick.
Hello, and welcome to the official SmallCarWeekly.com live broadcast, hosted once every week by BJ Antonio and Kylie Glatfelter, with a new special guest every episode.
Alright, hopefully everything is correct. Hopefully everything's working. Yeah, I think everything's working. Hello guys, and welcome to episode 3, season 2 of the SmallCarWeekly.com live broadcast. We will be starting every Wednesday at 8:30 PM Eastern. Guests, of course, are subject to change as always. And before we get any further into it, I'll just thank some of our sponsors, Action Track USA, Engwitz Enterprises, Batwing Chassis, Dirt the Game, Hyper Racing, Connected Apparel, Lime Rock Speedway, Liquid Nitro Energy Drink, Oakland Valley Speedway, Slinger Warehouse, Spirit Auto Center Speedway, Stellar Wings, and Tim's Shock Lab, also known as Tim Buckwalter. Kylie, just introduce yourself, and then we can get to more questions.
Hi guys, obviously I'm Kylie. If you guys are just tuning in, I'm also a co-host on the show. So today on the show we do have Mark Berkenstock. So if you want to say hi.
Hi.
How are you doing tonight?
Good. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for being on with us. BJ, do you want to start off with some of the questions?
Yeah, but before I get into the questions, the usual thing here, if anyone has any questions, you can tweet us at Small Car Weekly, so I recommend you can either make a Twitter, it's very quick, you can tweet us questions, whatever. We'll try to get to them as soon as we can. Again, it's at Small Car Weekly. It doesn't have to be case sensitive. Just please refrain from vulgar comments or vulgar language, whatever. But thanks again for being on, Mark. We really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule. Alrighty. First question, Mark. This is going to be a general conversation. So, how many years have you been racing, Mark?
I've been racing since I was 5. I started out in quarter midgets, and then when I was about, I think, 12, I started in the slingshots and did that for a couple of years, and then into the 600.
Nice. And out of all the years you've been racing, what do you think your favorite division has been so far?
The 600's fun to drive, but I had fun in the slingshots too. Did that more than the quarter midgets. I only did that for a couple of years, but both the 600 and the slingshot are fun. But I got to say the 600 is the most fun out of all of them.
Yeah, the thing about the slingshot is I think it's hard to be biased, but they're fun to race. I'd rather race them than watch them, but they're a good division. I seen Kylie smirk a little bit because I think I yet again somehow stole her question because when we were writing them down. But Kylie, just go ahead and proceed with whatever you had next because again we kind of overread each other somehow. So.
Okay, so my second question is going to be what tracks do you typically race at?
Last year with the 600, I did Lanco a couple times, Kutztown, Action Track, and Hamlin once or twice last year.
Nice. And in the 600 micro sprints, the nice thing about 600 is it's a very open division. And the thing with your disability is there's a lot of ingenuity into it. The chassis you run is considered an SB3, correct, by West Fabrication?
Yeah, mine's a PMP, but yeah, they're pretty similar.
Okay, so it's a PMP, but then like the SB3 is like, I think it's like.
Yeah, Brett Shonley started to make the SB3, and I guess now Randy West makes them now.
Yep. Now, I mean, I kind of already asked you this, but what are all the divisions you ran in your career? I see there's a sprint car on your Facebook profile page. Were you running a sprint car, or was
I wasn't.
Else?
The sprint car was my brother. He did the 305 for about 2 or 3 years. So at the time, I wasn't racing the 600, so I always went along and helped him out.
Okay, that makes more sense. Now, how many divisions did you actually run with your disability? Just the 600?
Just the 600 with the hand controls, yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Kylie.
Okay, so tell me a little bit more about your 2016 season.
Well, 2016, it was kind of a disaster. We didn't race a whole lot to begin with, but ran a couple times and had a lot of issues just about every time we went on the racetrack. So I have the power steering, so I had a lot of issues with that just about every race, and it's very important to have that working with everything going on my steering wheel. And finally got that fixed, and something else happened. Either the injectors or my fuel pump, just stupid things that were kind of out of my control happened every time I went to the race, and kind of sucked, but had a couple of good races that we got in where everything went smooth, and hopefully this year everything keeps working and you can actually race every time.
Yeah, and if someone else, let's say, was in the same situation as you, how would you basically explain to them how everything's set up with your hand controls? Because now the clutch and the shifter is
That's
your
all the
hand.
same. It's just
Yeah.
regular. The clutch and everything on the motor that's the exact same. Really, the only modifications to my car is we took the pedals out and obviously put the hand controls in. And my hand controls are actually out of a Honda Odyssey off-road go-kart thing from like the 80s. That's really all it is. And you put that on and you just run a throttle cable over to your motor and a line back to the brake. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, and I'm big into the sim racing thing. Kylie obviously isn't, but there's also a lot of people doing a similar scenario in that kind of simulation racing thing. But we're not talking about simulation racing here. So it's obviously a very simplistic thing. So do you think it wouldn't take someone very long to get in that, scenario if they were disabled out their feet and they had to use hand controls?
Yeah, but Jimmy Brookins, he actually ran 600s for a lot of years, and it's probably one of the best we've ever seen in PA. So he was very successful with the same setup that I got. That's actually how I got started with it. And for someone else that wanted to get into the 600 or whatever, it's really not that much different because I'm so used to doing everything by hand. And in my everyday life, driving my regular street car, I do everything by hand. So it wasn't really that hard for me to adapt to it, but once you get racing next to people, it's definitely a lot harder than anything else that you do with your hands.
Now, how steady do you think the throttle is compared to a brake or an actual gas pedal at your feet?
Well, I made a couple adjustments with my throttle, with the throttle lever. When we first got everything set up, it was really hard and really stiff. So we got a different lever to make it easier. It's bigger, so before I would only have two fingers on it, and I didn't really like that. So now I got a longer one, and it's a lot easier to pull now. So, and I had more control with it with the new lever on it. So
nice. And
compared to your feet, I mean, you obviously have more play with your feet to control the throttle, I would say. But once I put that other lever on it, really had some more throttle control.
Okay. Yeah, that's really good to hear. But Kylie, you can go ahead.
Thank you. Well, no one took any of my questions, so kind of happy about that. So now that the 2017 season is approaching, what are your plans? What tracks do you plan on racing at? Do you want to travel to some different tracks? Tell me a little bit.
I don't really have any set plans for this year. Probably just be similar to last year, just kind of pick and choose as I go. Definitely probably do a couple races at Kutztown and Action Track there, and I do want to try to do a little bit more winged racing. It's definitely a lot easier on the steering wheel because you're not all over the place with the steering wheel. You just kind of move it a little bit, and it's definitely a lot easier. So maybe do Lanco or Greenwood here and there and do some more winged racing.
Yeah, I was actually just going to bring that up. I tell everyone else, Greenwood is an amazing track. I just wish it was in the middle of nowhere. For the people
it's just so far away. It kind of sucks going every week, but definitely try to go hit it a couple times this year.
It's also very smooth, even with how severe the weather can get up there. But yeah, Greenwood's a very nice track, especially winged. I hope they do like one or two wingless races at the end of the year, though. Those were always kind of cool. But yeah, that's. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. You're good.
Oh, I'm out, so you can go ahead anyway.
I was just gonna put in a comment that I need to go up and visit Greenwood because I've noticed that a lot of our guests have been up to Greenwood or race at Greenwood, and I don't know Greenwood, so I need to go up there so then I know everything that's going on.
Yeah, it's near Bloomsburg University, well, like kind of in that area. It's just in the middle of nowhere, and even though it's in the middle of nowhere, they still get a full field of cars every week, which is very surprising because, like, for the average person, it's like 2+ hours. So.
Yeah, and I saw they made added some banking to it at the end of last year, so looks pretty good.
New clay as well, and again, it's always a nice smooth track, and Jared does a nice job, and he always is around the pits, and like he's just a very good person to work with. So yeah, I honestly like how Jerry does things, and if Greenwood wasn't a better location, I'd be there every week. But it's just a shame. I still want to go there, but yeah, that's gonna be a good track. That would be easy on the hand controls. But as for Greenwood being a nice track, what do you think your favorite small car track would be, 600 micro sprint related?
Probably Action Track. I really had a lot of fun there last year. It's just different than anywhere else with the 600, I think. And you get out there, no matter you're in a B main or a C main, whatever it is, it's definitely pretty action packed and 3 wide and cars everywhere. And definitely gotta be on the steering wheel for sure.
Now, Kyle, do you plan on getting there up a lot there this year too, or is college gonna get in the way, or what do you think you're gonna do about that?
Well, I definitely want to go up to Action Track this summer. I have it in my schedule, so every Wednesday I'll hopefully be up there. My first experience with Action Track was last summer, and it was amazing. It's probably one of my favorite small car tracks, and I mean, it's great to watch the races, and I love helping out with anyone there, with selling shirts out front, helping some of the vendors. It's just a lot of fun. So I'm definitely going back this year.
Yeah, I love going there every week, and actually it's one of our sponsors actually, so I love supporting them, and we will have some GoPros on cars this year. I had a GoPro on Mark's car actually, I think towards the end of the year.
Yeah, I didn't do so well that night, but
no, it's fine, dude. But yeah, I had a GoPro on your car, and of course we have GoPros on our car, so it was kind of cool to see how you did things, Mark. And I never experienced watching someone with hand controls, so it's pretty crazy and pretty innovative to see a lot of people that are disabled and they want to race, but at one point they couldn't, but now it's almost becoming easily accessible. That's why I brought up sim racing, because in the off season, a lot of people can't afford to go real racing, and now there's even hand controls coming to a virtual racing world. So like, it's just for people with disabilities, a lot of the things in this world are becoming easier to just easier to access. So I think that's just really one nice thing, because then everyone can have their foot in the water and do what they want to do.
yeah, there's actually a kid that races at Path Valley, Darren Kaufman. I don't know if you ever heard of him. He actually has the same hand control setup that I have, so that's pretty cool too.
Now, is it the same steering wheel and everything?
It's the same steering wheel, same everything. Got it right from Jimmy Brookins too, so
Okay.
hopefully I'll get to race against him sometime.
And what chassis does he have?
He has a Stallard chassis,
Okay.
but you can put the hand controls in pretty much any car.
Okay. Yeah. Because, well, yeah. So do you have to actually take off your steering wheel, like, from your column, or do you actually have to leave it on the car when you get
No,
it?
it's still the same quick release. It goes on if you take it on and off to get in and out of the race car. So everything's pretty much the same. It just has hand controls on it.
Nice, that's pretty badass. Excuse my language, but yeah, it's pretty cool. But Kylie, you can jump to the next one if you would like.
You took all my questions.
What the heck, dude?
I'm sorry.
But you can. I don't know how this keeps happening, but you can think I can keep shooting some at Mark. As for sponsors, who supports you throughout the season?
Just my family pretty much, and a lot of people help out. I gotta thank my dad, obviously my brother. He's a big part to my racing. He always makes sure everything's right and always fixing the things that I mess up, and I know when he works on my car it's going to be good. I got to thank the Troxel family. They helped me out last year with going racing a lot, and Randy West, he's been a big help on my car. He makes sure my steering wheel is right, and I think we've had it over there about 3 or 4 times now to make sure where my steering wheel is on the car to get me comfortable and with the steering wheel. So he's been a big help to my car, and that's about it. Always looking for sponsors, so anyone interested, they can definitely contact me.
Yeah, there's your plug. I mean, I already told you we're kind of interested. Our budget is kind of iffy right now, but yeah, it's something that I'm sure a lot of people would be interested in. But I actually kind of forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, now I remember. You said your brother ran the sprint car. How many years has he been doing that? And like, has he kind of been an inspiration kind of to you? How much, does he have a lot of experience in the 600s? Does he know what he's doing with the car?
Yeah, my brother, his racing career is pretty much similar to mine. He did the quarter midgets and slingshot, then 600, and then onto the 305. But he doesn't race anymore. He has a kid, and he's busy at work. But he definitely tries to go racing with me if he can, and definitely works on my car and make sure everything's right for me to go racing.
That's cool to hear. Now that I stole Kylie's questions again somehow, have you thought anything on the way so far?
Actually, yes. I know we talked about at the beginning, we talked about the different divisions that you driven. Which one was your favorite and why?
The 600, it's just a lot faster. I like the speed of it, and just I feel like it's more entertaining. There's just a lot more going on.
Okay. And if you had the opportunity, would you move up into a different class?
With the hand controls, I don't really think I would. I mean, maybe a 305, maybe, but I think the 600, everything with the hand controls is just right. It's to go to a sprint car or something else. I mean, people do it, but they're not very successful at it. But I feel like the 600, the way the hand controls are, you can be competitive with the same setup I got.
Okay.
Now, what do you think about a midget? I mean, a midget is bigger, but it's not like, a drastic change. I mean, horsepower, yeah, but what do you think of a midget as well? Because
I think anything above the 600, once you get into the regular steering and how it is, I think you get too crossed up on the steering wheel. I think it's just very hard to get it right, and the 600, I think it's just would work the best.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's something a lot of people don't know about, and I think some people won't understand the difficulty of it almost.
Yeah, actually, on my car, the thing that Jimmy Brookins ran it too. We have a different steering rack, so helps out with the counter steer. It's definitely a lot harder to steer, and that's why I got the power steering.
Yeah.
So, because I would go and steer, and I would slip off the gas because you'd be counter steering so far. I mean, you can only go so far and stay on the gas and have your throttle control. So that was definitely a thing to get used to. But once we got that other steering rack in there, it was pretty good.
That's good to hear. And what power steering system do you use?
I have the Easy Steer. It's the same one that they run in the Speedsters.
Okay. Oh, nice.
So got it from Rich Tobias. He actually gave it to me, so I got to thank him for that.
Yeah, I like Rich Tobias. Between him and Doug Rose are like the two main kind of publicity kind of people at Action Track. They do a very good job. They do a very good job at promoting. They do a lot of stuff to help out the community, and I think they just do a lot of good stuff all around together. So that's kind of one thing I like, about Rich and Doug. And Rich also has a crazy good division as the Speedsters and the Slingshot. But again, I kind of buzz-killed Kylie a bit. But do you have any?
You did. You just killed me. I don't even know.
I don't know, man. I mean, one thing I can bring up for you is, Mark, did you go to Racing Extravaganza?
No, I was not there.
Okay.
You missed out. It was a lot of fun.
I know.
I wanted to go too, actually.
You all missed out.
Oh crap! One thing I forgot to mention. Again, I have so many things here that I'm bringing up that I keep forgetting to mention some important stuff. First Kylie for you, and then Mark. Are you going to Motorama?
Am I going to Motorama? Depends on how my schedule looks for this weekend up here at Shippensburg, but it's possible because it's not that far away. I'd like to go.
I love Motorama.
But I'd like to go.
Have you ever been there?
I've never been to Motorama.
It's the best. I love
ever. But I heard it's a good time, and it's something that you should definitely go check out.
Now, Mark, I suppose you've been to Motorama, though.
I think I've been there like once. I think it was a long time ago, but I'm actually not going there this weekend.
Oh, are you busy with something else racing related?
Not racing related,
No.
but I will not be there.
Okay, I mean, I can just bring up for people who don't really know about it, Kylie. I mean, I don't know if you heard, but like, number one, dirt bike racing, quarter midget racing, go-kart racing, they have like this robot thing. I'm not interested in that, but like, they have like this battle bots kind of thing. Four-wheel racing, there's like a full-blown car show. Besides the racing,
there is a pageant.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I don't know why I said racing. Besides the racing extravaganza pageant, besides the Miss Motorsports pageant, there's a Miss Motorama pageant. That's actually a pretty big thing too. There's a lot of people there. I remember when I tried watching it, I was like swamped. It's in their. Another thing I was gonna mention is it's in their car show area. So like they have this full blown muscle and tuner car show. They have like an RV show there too. Like there's so many things going on. There's nothing to lose interest of someone there. So anyone that likes that kind of stuff, it's definitely something to check out. They even have RC racing. I don't know if I brought that up, but it's a pretty big event. It's in the Harrisburg Farm Show Complex area. So it's a pretty cool event, and every year I've been there, I wasn't really disappointed because there's also always something to do, big or small related. So.
DJ,
What's up?
question for you.
Okay.
Are you going to Motorama?
Heck yeah, I love it.
You are? You're going to Motorama this weekend?
Yes. Yeah, there's just a lot of things going on. Miss Motorsports is gonna be there. She's gonna sign autographs. Actually,
Taylor.
Huh?
I said Taylor.
Yep, Taylor Albert.
It's Taylor.
I hope I said her last name right.
Yep, Taylor Albert. You're good.
Back on subject, we can get into the Motorama kind of deal a little bit. When we kick Mark on out of here. Basically, just two more things for you, Mark. What has been one event that you have not been to that you wish to go to in the near future?
Any dirt event or?
Yeah, I mean anything dirt racing related, any asphalt oval, anything, motocross.
Probably the number one race that I'd like to go to would be the Knoxville Nationals. Just such a prestigious event, and I'm a big sprint car fan, so I definitely got to say Knoxville or probably the Kings Royal.
Well, you're kind of, I don't know why, but something about you that kind of makes me think that you've been there already, to Knoxville National.
No, I haven't. I wish.
Yeah, that's something I kind of wish to go to too. I think my kind of bucket list thing right now is the Chili Bowl.
Same. Mine's the Chili Bowl and Eldora.
Yeah, Chili Bowl would be pretty cool to go to too.
That's what I'd want to go to. Heck, even in racing it. I mean, the thing is, Ryan Greth at Hyper has some very affordable rental options. It's only like $2 to $3 grand to rent a car for the whole week. So, I kind of want to save up and do that. But besides that, what hobbies do you like to do in the off season, Mark?
In the off season, I did. Last year, I started doing some skiing. It's a sit-down ski, so I did that. So I'm gonna be going to Colorado in a couple weeks. I'm gonna be doing that. So I like to do that sometimes. I don't go all the time because it's just so expensive to buy the equipment for the adaptive skiing. But that was definitely a lot of fun. And in the off season, not really too much, too cold. Going outside a whole lot.
How much do you think you work on the car? Did you do a full rebuild? Did you almost leave it alone? I mean, you said you didn't race that much, so how much did you think you actually had to do to the car?
I did. I tore my car pretty much all the way apart. I'm going to get it powder coated and build it again. Just go over everything and make sure it's all good.
That's great. I mean, that's really good to hear, man. And who else kind of helps you out on that rebuilding? Do you like to do a lot of it yourself? Your father, your brother?
Pretty much me and my brother. We're pretty much the main two people that work on my car, and definitely my brother helps out a lot. I got to thank him for everything he does.
That's cool to hear. Now, Kylie, before we kick on Mark out of here, because I kind of just shot questions at him and kind of sprayed him. Do you think you have anything else to add?
I don't think I have anything else to add. You kind of hit everything that you hit the nail on the head, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean,
everything.
Like I said, it was very interesting to see kind of how Mark did things at Action Track and had the GoPro on his car, because it's something that, like I said, is very misunderstood to a lot of people. But the thing that's nice is when people are in the car, they almost don't even know. I mean, unless you're straight down looking in the cockpit. So, like, one thing I like about racing is it seems like a lot of people can think that you're on the same page, and, like, it's almost like no one's different. So I think that's something, nice to look at, nice to see, and see that a lot of people with disabilities can achieve something they want to.
Yeah, definitely a lot of people, when I'm obviously racing, they probably don't even know my car has hand control. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm obviously different a lot of times because I use a wheelchair. So, definitely when I'm on that racetrack, it's kind of nice that I'm just like someone else.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's why I kind of, like, Kylie, half the things I written down weren't even, like, I had so many different things to ask that this came up. And again, people like I said, people with disabilities, like, especially in racing, it's nice to see. But other than that, before we get you on out here, Mark, is there anyone else you would like to plug?
No.
Okay, dude. Well, I mean, I really appreciate you coming on, Mark, and taking the time out of your busy schedule. I hope to be side by side with you this upcoming season. We're gonna plan on being at Action Track Greenwood, just like the tracks you named. So, best of luck in your 2017 season, Mark. And
All right.
it'll be fun.
Thanks for having me on.
You're welcome, Mark. Have a good night. Alrighty, let me get set up here. But before we go to a break, if anyone has any other questions, they can tweet us. We're just gonna do some small announcements. I already kind of mentioned Motorama. We'll bring up Racing Extravaganza a bit again, and some other small things. So see you guys in a few.
Because you gotta race. Hyper Racing has technical help that will blow your mind, online or phone line. A world-class facility that manufactures perfection. Fuel injection conversions, chassis dyno, shock service, and a massive inventory for micro sprints, lightning sprints, midgets, and quarter midgets. We have what you need and will deliver your package full of adrenaline. Racing, because you gotta race.
If you're after the best seat in the house, you're gonna have to qualify. Keep turning left and hold that right foot down, because for that primo spot, VIP, the creme de la creme, you gotta race. For the next best seat, well, take your pick.
Alright, we are back after a break. Again, thank you, Mark, for being on. It was greatly appreciated, taking the time out of your busy schedule. Just some quick announcements, as always, after we get the guest off the show. First off, the most recent thing, we still have an article to post on the website. I mean, the website's been dry lately because of the off-season, but I'm kind of glad that things are starting to pick up a bit. Kylie, you will have an article on the website. I'll just say ASAP. I'm not going to say any set date. About Racing Extravaganza, I don't think we had a show after the event because we took a break last week.
Yeah, we took a break, so we can have that on.
So since we brought that up, the pageant, of course, you won. That was your first pageant. You can talk about that a little bit, and we can go from there.
Okay, so pretty much the Racing Extravaganza show, it took place on the 4th and 5th of February at the Utz Arena at the York Fairgrounds in New York, Pennsylvania. There were over 150 motorized vehicles in the arena. It was absolutely amazing. There were so many cars there. Giving out the awards was a blast because just some amazing cars won, and I was so excited. And there were over 50 vendors. I know Hyper was a vendor, Bob Hilbert was a vendor. It was great walking around, just looking at everything. The attendance was it was great. I couldn't have expected anything better. It was amazing. There were so many tracks there. They had booths. It was a lot of fun. It was a very pumped up day, and I'm excited that I had like 2 back-to-back like shows, because we had motorsports and then racing extravaganza. So I'm glad I got to have that in like a week in between, but like 2 consecutive race weekends.
Yeah, it's
kind of.
here, and again, the next kind of event is Motorama, and that's in the Harrisburg Farm Show complex, like I said. But just bring up about, is there anything else you'd like to mention about winning the pageant, and of course also motorsports for next year, those kind of plans?
Well, at the pageant, this was my first time competing in anything like this, since I did just turn the age to be in it.
There's an age limit, 18?
Yeah, it's 18. You have to be 18 to do that. I know it's the same with Miss Motorsports, so you have to be 18 to do either one of those events.
Okay.
So now that I hit that age, I was able to do it. I was really nervous the entire time, especially with the question that I got wrong, but it's okay. I kind of just played it off that it was okay. But it was definitely amazing to compete with all the girls that were there. I got to make some new friends, which was also very nice. So I love doing that.
That's good to hear. Now, I'm just going to bring up Motorama here. I have some info about it. Motorama is this weekend. Again, Harrisburg Farm Show Complex. No, it's February 18th and 19th. And there's arena cross, go-kart, quarter midget racing, RC demolition derby, RC off-road. Oh, that's a lot of RC stuff. Muscle and tuner show, and then a speed show, and also, of course, the Miss Motorama pageant. Now, I think the only other thing to really mention is, I mean, dirt and asphalt racing isn't too much further away. I mean, Linda starts in late March.
Yep, the 31st.
Now, is that practice day or is that race day?
No, I believe that's actually an ARDC race at Linda's. I believe it's the first race at Linda's. It's an ARDC race.
Their website wasn't pulling up, but yeah. So the 24th is actually practice day for any car. And then the 31st at Linda's Speedway is the 270 micros 600s, which I'll be racing in. Fun. But then also the ARDC midgets. So yeah, you're correct about that. That's actually going to be a really good show.
It is going to be a really good show. I'm excited for it.
I'm curious to know if that's Action Track's sanctioned, because I know Action Track has their shows at Linda's. I'll have to get back to people on that. But then also we brought up Action Track a lot. The thing is though that Action Track doesn't really open until school's out because of the community.
Yeah.
That's the only.
College.
Yeah. That's the only sad thing that's gonna stink. But then, also, Schomer Speedway and great go-kart track and stuff like that. Like I said, this general go-kart, any type of car racing is coming up shortly. Lincoln's Icebreakers and
next weekend.
Yeah, so it's just a lot of overwhelming stuff to talk about and see. So, it's pretty much all I have. Is there anything else you'd like to mention, Kylie?
Nope, it's kind of going with the theme for tonight. I don't really have much to mention today.
I mean, I was mumbling because, like I said, there's a lot of overwhelming stuff that I'm seeing pop up on my feed here, so it's all
yes.
to talk about. But we will see you guys next week at 8 p.m. Eastern, Wednesday, same thing, same place. Guest to be announced, and that's about it. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week.
Condemns to waste. Show me my mistakes, and face me with my fate. I assume that my life is doomed. try. I'll keep my head